we got to talk about some drama. Yes, Nicole, the drama of this week was insane. Ooh. All right. You know this show would not be Ladies Takeover if we didn't have some drama. Love drama. Ladies, all right, we got a couple of topics that I want to talk about with you guys because, hey, why not? We got our man, Aaron Rodgers, potentially practicing on a 21-day practice window to get him up and running to be available for the last 3 games of the season. Now, a lot of people are talking about it would it even be worth it? Why not just sit out? But I want to get you guys' opinion. Nicole, what do you think about Aaron Rodgers literally tearing his Achilles and coming back in the same year?
I think that's, it's good to finish off on a season. I think if there might be some bonus and some carrots at the end that he might want to go and get those like all-time records. I know kind of there is a little bit of a manly competition in retirement now with these guys of what other long-term records can I put up or, where can I put my name in after retirement for, longest yards, recorded yard, touchdowns, and stuff like that. So I think if he's back and if he's serious, I'm hoping he has some jazz. That's all I got.
Well, he better. He absolutely better. Kate, what do you think?
I like him better when he's not playing. I will forever be the anti-Aaron Rodgers girl. I just hope he's doing this smartly, and I hope that this doesn't cause another injury down the road where he won't be able to come back from it. So hopefully he's got a very good doctor that has cleared him, and it's not some witch doctor he found in the darkness when he was in the darkness.
Yeah.
And who has told him he can go back out on that field and play. Because if not, he will be back in the darkness of being on the sidelines and not playing. So we shall see what happens. Like I said, I think this is why they really didn't go out and search for a quarterback when I said that a few weeks ago, because I think that the Jets had hopes that this might happen. So that's why, they rode with Wilson and they're riding with who they had because they knew that their prodigal son out of the darkness, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, would be back. So I just hope it all works out for him, and I'm going to keep it at that because my mom always told me if I have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
I understand that. I definitely understand that. All right, Delilah, what do you think about our boy Aaron Rodgers coming back?
I mean, I just honestly listen. I think that he needs to be careful because he's not a spring chicken. Like if he was younger, your bones, this is just basic biology, right? Your bones and joints, all that repair a lot more strongly when you're in your 20s and in your teens, right? He is almost 40. And so I'm hoping that him coming back doesn't, as Kate said, really ruin his career before he's ready to actually retire on his own. You know what I mean? Like the what happened to Alex Smith, we all saw it. He never play the same, and that's it. His career was over. And
it's very true.
So I just hope that if he's coming back, it's not from. I hope that he's listening to his doctor that actually repaired his. The actual doctor that performed the miracle surgery that he's getting better from. That's the staff that he should be listening to because they're the ones who healed his foot. Okay, those doctors and the clinic that he went to, they're the ones that really did the job of repairing the Achilles heel, who are telling him the therapy he should be taking, right? And what regimen to follow. And so if he does come back, I hope that's who he's listening to.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I hope that's who you're listening to. And if you feel like you're ready, hey, come back, whatever. But the Jets ain't going nowhere, my guy. It's not so I don't know what you're coming back for, to be honest, because
They're not even in it.
They're not. No. So that's the other part too. They're not like they're not coming. You're not going anywhere this season. So you might as well just lay out the rest of the season. Come back next season.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
In full strength. Okay, that's what I think. But, you know.
I totally understand. I get that. Hey, we want to know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys think about. Oh, there we go. Aaron Rodgers found an alien in that cave. Now the alien is using that advanced tech to heal Rodgers. I'm telling you, it's a miracle, guys. I mean, this happened in September. We're just in November, and he's already talking about a 21-day comeback. So crazy. But we still got to keep it with the quarterbacks because it looks like Justin Fields. Delilah, I thought about you when it came to this subject. Justin Fields is trying his best with what he's got. You know, with the season the way the season's been going, it's looking like the Chicago Bears will have that number 1 pick to be able to get the top quarterback, Caleb Williams. So I wanted to ask you, ladies, do you think the Chicago Bears should stay with their quarterback? Because if they, with all of these picks that they do have in the first round, they could use them to get top tier around. Yeah. But it's not every day that you probably get one of the best quarterbacks out there. So, which is not really, well, they missed up out on CJ Stroud because they did.
He's balling out.
He's balling out.
Last year, they could have had an opportunity to get one of these players. They didn't. They stuck with Fields. So I had to put it up to you guys. Kate, what do you think?
Well, looking at what's happened with Caleb Williams since I followed college football quite a bit, he's really had a demise the second half of his season. He's not really playing very well, so I doubt he will be one of the top picks at quarterback like they originally thought. He's out of the Heisman talks and everything. You're looking at, depending on if like Bo Nix or Jaden Daniels or one of the other top tier quarterbacks that are in the college ranks go that high, then maybe I would look at replacing Fields. But I think really you got to get him a good quarterbacks coach and a good offensive coordinator. And I think that would be a lot of difference for him in the NFL, because I don't think it's him. I think it's the coaches that are mentoring him and bringing him up. And I definitely think that Chicago should really look at readjusting their coaching staff and throwing some money at it so that they can get the right people for Justin Fields. I don't think I would give up on him quite yet because he has shown many glimpses that he can do the job.
Yes.
So don't give up on him. Give him another season or two, but please get him the right personnel to get him cooking.
100%. I totally agree. Delilah, what do you think?
That's what I've been saying all season, from the beginning, literally from the get-go. I'm like, it is unfair for people to be like, hey, throw him away. First of all, we lost, but it wasn't because of him. He had over 200 yards. He didn't get a touchdown. Yes. The receivers were dropping passes. The calls that Gesky was calling, it's like a screenplay every other. It's like, Jesus, man. There are other, sorry. Cheese and crackers is what I meant to say. Listen, there are other plays, but he does the same thing. He does the same thing every time. He doesn't play to his strengths, and it's unfair. He is a powerhouse running quarterback. Why are you not using that? He was breaking so many records last season, just on Michael Vick's heels, on Lamar Jackson's heels, just breaking all sorts of rushing records. And then I'm not saying that he needs to be our rusher, right? That's not what I'm saying. However, we know he's mobile. We also know he could pass, but you also are calling you're also calling really crazy plays for him that don't help. And that don't help the routes. It's just keep him another season. Don't pick a quarterback in the first round. I don't think that's necessary. I think there's other needs. I think we need to beef up our defense. I think we need an edge rusher. I think that we need to beef up, get another wide receiver to help DJ Moore. You
Yes.
know, so that's not just DJ Moore being the guy because, you know, we tried Chase, you know, it didn't work out. We had to send them to Miami. So, like, you know, so I think there's other areas that we should focus on our first round picks. And that, you know, we need a center because they always get injured somehow. We just have really, really bad luck at choosing a center and a guard for some reason. They're always injured, you know, and so that's what I want us to focus on. I'm not saying not to get a backup because that's always good security. It's just a good idea. There's a lot of guys that I don't follow college a lot, but I've been told there's a lot of guys that you can get in the second and third round. They're not, you know, they're not garbage, you know, that you can actually, you know, do something good with. But that means, like Kate said, you need to get the right coaching staff because the other thing that we're hearing from young guys, not just Caleb, a lot of these young quarterbacks are tired of going to trash teams that won't develop them, that ruin their career. They've all seen it. They've seen it. They go to these teams that don't help them. Look what's happening in Carolina. You think he wants to go to that mess? They just fired all their coaches. And so, like, I just feel that the way that the NFL needs to rethink a lot of these teams, how they do player development. Some teams do it really well, and some are just trash. And that's what you need to look at. Get the right coaches to develop the young players, but also utilize the veterans that are on there. Because that's usually what you do. You use the veterans to be the leaders, to be the captains, to motivate, to go out there. I still go back to the Lovey Bears because that's the most recent team that has success. Urlacher, Lance Briggs, both of those guys on defense. Peanut, punching the football. Everybody learned from him how to do that punch football because he perfected it. It was every time he punched out a football, you were like, oh my God, you know? And so I just feel like that's what needs to happen before you start drafting. Focus on coaching, get development, then go ahead and draft some young players. Don't go with a quarterback in the first round. Wait a couple rounds. And just help Fields. Give him another season or two with a real team. Then you can think about trading him later. Then he'll be more valuable, by the way, when he 100%. Actually playing to his strengths. Then teams will trade for him 100%. Because he can go to another team and be a starter versus a backup. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Yep, I understand. I totally understand. I'm glad we get to hear it from an actual Chicago fan. Giving it to us raw. All right, Nicole, what you think?
I mean, the guy, he is like, I mean, Delilah put it pretty well, but he's 24 years old, so he's like still pretty young. You know, he says here he came from the the Georgia Bulldogs and the Ohio State Buckeyes for college. So I think he has a lot of untapped potential, and as well, like he had, I guess, a thumb injury here and there that he's still getting over. But this guy is young, and I think he's on track to do good things. And like Delilah said, going to a team that doesn't want to invest in a franchisee quarterback is not going to set you up for the right path. So I think, well, I put it best.
I absolutely agree with you guys. I just think that you got to have some time with him. Sometime when things are already put together, right? You've been expecting him to do things and with not as much, and he needs it. Like, you getting Caleb Williams isn't going to fix the problem. It's just going to say put Caleb Williams in the same issues that Justin Fields is having. So I also think that they should keep him. I think it would be absolutely smart for them to keep him, build around it, use these top draft picks that you have to get the best of the best. You have the opportunity to get 3 of them. 3. So I just think it's going to be an interesting offseason. All right, guys. So we got to get on to the last topic. We have MVP. There's so many MVP conversations about who's the MVP. Should it be a wide receiver? Should it be something else this time? So many talks about the MVP. What do you guys think? Who do you think right now deserves to be in the conversation of the MVP? You don't have to pick your MVP, but who deserves to be in the conversation? Kate?
Surprisingly, I'm going to go with a rookie that happens to come out of the Ohio State University.
Okay.
I think CJ Stroud has been amazing for the Texans. Amazing. That kid is balling out and bringing the Texans back to glory. And it's beautiful to see. And maybe another dark horse that hasn't been talked about, but his team is 8-3 and doing really well in the AFC. And I'm looking at maybe like a Trevor Lawrence. Hasn't been mentioned very often, but he's doing an amazing job. But the biggest one right now they're talking about is your quarterback, Janae, Mr. Dak Prescott.
Yes.
He's at the top of the talks right now. I know some receivers are being talked about, but I would say those three definitely need to be in the conversation. And I think it would be really like a cool thing to see a dark horse like a CJ Stroud, a rookie, win it because the kid is balling out.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Delilah, who do you think should be in the MVP conversation?
I mean, I know you don't like this team, but I think Jalen Hurts, man.
Yes.
Like, he was in the running last season. He's in the running this season. I think the guy is balling out every time. I think, for years, people were ragging on him, and there's reasons. We know that. It's harder on black quarterbacks. Let's not sugarcoat stuff. So, I think that if it doesn't go, I understand why Dak's in the conversation. He deserves it because he's been balling out the last few games too. But I think Jalen should get that MVP, man. He was in the running last season. He's in the running again. He didn't start off great, but then they picked up steam, right? People were like, oh, what happened as soon as he made a few mistakes?
The last 4 games.
A few mistakes that people were like, he's trash, which is like, bro, really? Like,
crazy.
Geez,
That's
come
crazy.
on, man. Like, some of the best quarterbacks that we called legends always had bad days. Every single one of them will tell you that they have bad days, they have really bad games, and people were like doubting them. And I thought it was unfair that he was being ragged on like that because of the first few games of the season after going to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And they didn't lose because of him. Because he got those last points, it's not that Jalen was not the reason they lost, The Eagles didn't stop that last play. That's what, So, yeah, I think he should be in the conversation. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins finally. He deserves it.
I love it. All right. Last but not least, Nicole, what you think about the MVP conversation?
I have only one person in mind. He's the amazing and most beautiful Swiss Army knife named Taysom Hill from no other than New Orleans Saints. I just want to say he is amazing, just only because he should be in the conversation. He ended up breaking a record that ended up getting him into the Hall of Fame with another person for having over 10 different kinds of touchdowns. But right now, this season, snaps by position. This is snaps by position this season. He's had 71 at quarterback, 22 at running back, 54 at tight end, 151 at a wide receiver, and 107 on special teams.
Wow.
I'm just saying they're using him, and I think they need to use him more in the red zone rather than some other people, but that's a different discussion. But he should be in the conversation. That's all I got to say.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Let us know in the comments who you think the MVP conversation should have, who should be in there. It's only one award. I mean, so many people. I mean, with Tyreek Hill and what he's doing, and we just saw from Deron Bland just break records. I mean, it could be anybody. It's such a great season of football. Oh my goodness, it's just so beautiful. But let us know what you guys think, because this is what it's all about. We're going to talk football today.